Well, when I found out I was pregnant, I was very emotional. I was crying a lot and I wasn't sure what I was going to do.
Honestly, if I didn't have the help of James due process to navigate the judicial bypass system, I probably wouldn't have sought a judicial bypass, and I probably would have ended up continuing the pregnancy.
Being able to get the abortion when I was able to has provided me with the life that I wanted for my daughter. If the judge would have ruled against me, I would have put an appeal in, but if that didn't work or it took too long, I would have just ended up having to be a mother of two at the age of 17 and, financially struggle.
I'm Co, and I'm 19 years old.
My name is H.K. Gray, and I'm 18.
My name is Veronica and I am 19 years old.
When I found out I was pregnant, it was a really emotional experience. I didn't want to be pregnant, and so it was unreal, like, to become pregnant, even though I knew I had those capabilities. And I just remembered an instance where my mom and I were having a conversation about sex, and she was telling me that if I ever were to become pregnant, because she wanted grandchildren, that she would make me have the baby.
When I found out I was pregnant, I originally didn't really believe it. I thought it was a false positive. I just didn't see how I could have gotten pregnant so fast after I gave birth. So I knew at that point that it was just not really a choice. Like, I needed an abortion because I could not afford 2 children.
I was there with my boyfriend and he and I instantly knew we needed an abortion. So as I was crying, he was looking it up and trying to see how to get an abortion in Texas.
When I found out I needed parental consent to get an abortion, because that's what I wanted to have, it was difficult to understand because I didn't need my parents for a lot of things currently in my life. Like, I was independent of them, and it was like this one obstacle of needing them here. It was impossible to get that consent from them.
My parents are divorced and my dad is very Christian, so I knew instantly I couldn't talk to him. My mom and I don't have like a good connection. I wasn't sure what her opinion would be about it because she was pregnant when she was 17 as well, and she had the baby, and I thought that that's what she might have wanted for me.
I couldn't get parental consent at the time because my dad was homeless and my mom was currently on the run and was about to be incarcerated.
For me, I got really discouraged when I realized that I needed my parents in this situation, but I couldn't, I didn't have access to them. So a friend referred me to James due process, and they help you get a judicial bypass.
A judicial bypass is a way for a minor to have an abortion without parental consent or parental notice. Well, they first would tell you a list of things you needed to do, and immediately they told me, go to the clinic as soon as possible. We'll pay for it, that's fine, but that was the first step, and then I needed to get in contact with my lawyer, and then from there,
And then the next step was getting a court date and going in front of a judge. And not in a normal courtroom sense, but like in a private meeting almost with the judge.
Honestly, going before a judge was terrifying. I felt criminalized. I felt immediately that connection. My 17-year-old self was like, am I doing something wrong? Like, did I do something wrong? And
I was just so nervous because anything could happen, and I was scared. Like, it made me doubt myself and made me feel like maybe I wasn't prepared. I was scared that if I had done something to mess it up, the judge would rule against me.
The judge was a little stigmatizing and very, he liked to express his views a lot. He asked me things like, why is your dad homeless? And why would your mom be incarcerated? And he also switched things up. Like, I would say something and he almost like twisted it to where it had a different meaning, or it wasn't as effective as what I had said. So he really made it feel like I was stupid and I was immature. And the only reason why he was like, oh yeah, she's totally mature enough to have an abortion, was when I had told him that I was literally like starving and hadn't eaten in a couple days because I was providing food for my daughter.
When I appeared before the judge, although I was very nervous, I knew I had presented myself very responsible, and I had followed everything I needed to do on my part. It was just a matter of putting, I guess, your life in another person's hands and having them decide for you.
Parental involvement laws are just one barrier in this whole system of not allowing teens to have reproductive health care and rights.
They are ridiculous. Parental involvement laws are ridiculous, and they are barriers within themselves, and they force relationships that might not be feasible. And you are expecting young people to have certain relationships with their parents that they just might not have or be comfortable with having.
Sometimes the parents are involved in the person's life, or sometimes, in my case, I wasn't close to my mom, so it kind of forced that connection between us, which I didn't want, or that if it would have pulled us apart even more. So I feel that we are responsible enough to make our own decisions, and we don't need parental involvement.
It's okay to want an abortion. It's okay to not want to include your parents in that decision. You are capable of making that decision on your own.
And at the same time, we are not able to get abortion care, or a couple places in Texas don't let you know that you can buy Plan Bs over the counter. This is all tiny things that are all coming into the bigger picture of us not being able to take control over our reproductive rights.
Having the abortion helped me get through school, and it helped me continue the life that I had planned. And as well as having an abortion, it got me into reproductive justice and fighting for it.